December 4th, 1872. In the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, a lone vessel, the Dei Gratia, spots something strange. Another ship, a brigantine, is drifting erratically, its sails askew, moving as if guided by a phantom hand. As they draw closer, they recognize her, the Mary Celeste. She had left New York City just a month earlier, bound for Genoa, Italy. But something was terribly wrong. Hailing the ship yields only the sound of wind and creaking wood. There's no response. The captain of the Dei Gratia, David Morehouse, knows the captain of the Mary Celeste, Benjamin Briggs. They are friends. A boarding party is sent over, and what they find will become the greatest maritime mystery in history. The ship is completely deserted. Not a single soul is on board. Yet, the scene they discover is deeply unsettling, not because of what's there, but because of what isn't. There are no signs of a struggle, no evidence of violence. The ship is in near-perfect condition, entirely seaworthy. Down in the galley, the crew's meals are laid out, some still warm, as if they had just been about to eat. Personal belongings are neatly stowed in the crew's quarters. The captain's logbook sits open, its last entry dated 10 days prior, noting nothing unusual, just their position. In the hold, the cargo of over 1,700 barrels of denatured alcohol is almost entirely untouched. Valuables, including money and jewelry, are left behind. Everything needed for a long voyage is present and accounted for. Except for the people. The ship's chronometer, sextant, and all of its papers are missing, along with the single lifeboat. Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and the 7 experienced crew members had vanished into thin air. Where did they go? And why would they abandon a perfectly good ship in the middle of the ocean? For over a century and a half, this question has haunted historians, sailors, and mystery lovers alike. The story of the Mary Celeste isn't just a tale of a lost crew, it's a void, a perfect cold case that challenges our understanding of what can happen on the open sea. To unravel this, we have to look at the facts. The last log entry placed them west of the Azores Islands. When the Dei Gratia found her, she had drifted hundreds of miles east. The 10-day gap in the log is a black hole in the timeline. What could have happened during those 10 days that would compel 10 people to take to a small, fragile lifeboat in the unpredictable Atlantic? Over the years, theories have ranged from the plausible to the utterly fantastic. Early speculation involved pirates, but this was quickly dismissed. Pirates would have plundered the ship, taking the valuable cargo and the personal effects of the crew. The Mary Celeste was found with everything intact. What about a mutiny? This also seems unlikely. Captain Briggs was known as a fair and respected man, and his crew was hand-picked and experienced. There was no motive for a mutiny, and again, no signs of violence or struggle were ever found. Then there are the more imaginative explanations. Sea monsters, ghost ships, even alien abduction have all been proposed to fill the void of the unknown. While these make for thrilling stories, they lack any shred of evidence. The truth, if we can ever find it, must lie within the realm of scientific possibility. So let's explore the most credible theories that experts have debated for decades. One of the leading scientific theories revolves around the ship's cargo, denatured alcohol. The idea is that some of the barrels may have leaked, creating a buildup of flammable vapor in the hold. Captain Briggs, fearing an imminent and catastrophic explosion, might have ordered everyone to abandon ship as a precaution. He may have intended to wait at a safe distance in the lifeboat, trailing the Mary Celeste by a rope, and return once the danger had passed. This is known as the alcohol vapor theory. It sounds plausible. 9 of the 1,700 barrels were found empty. Proponents of this theory suggest that a minor, non-destructive explosion, a sort of whoosh of ignited vapor, could have blown off the main hatch cover, spooking the crew into thinking a major blast was next. This would explain the hurried departure without any signs of damage to the ship itself. They would have bundled into the lifeboat, perhaps towing a line to the main ship. But then, a sudden storm or a broken tow line could have separated them, leaving them lost at sea in a tiny boat, while the empty Mary Celeste sailed on. A ghost ship on the waves. However, there are problems with this theory. The crew of the Dei Gratia who boarded the ship reported no smell of alcohol fumes and found the main hatch securely fastened, not blown open. Also, the barrels were made of red oak, which is less porous and less likely to leak than white oak. While not impossible, the evidence for a vapor explosion is circumstantial at best. It's a neat explanation, but it leaves key questions unanswered. Let's move on to another compelling natural phenomenon, a waterspout. A waterspout is essentially a tornado over water. If the Mary Celeste encountered one, it could have been terrifying. These violent vortexes can suck up massive amounts of water, creating chaos on a ship's deck. It might have damaged the ship's rigging and pumps, leading the crew to believe the vessel was taking on more water than it actually was. Imagine the scene. A powerful waterspout descends, drenching the ship and disorienting the crew. The ship's pumps might have been clogged with debris, giving a false impression that the ship was sinking fast. In a moment of panic, Captain Briggs makes the fatal decision to abandon his vessel for the perceived safety of the lifeboat. They lower the boat into the choppy seas, but the very weather event that drove them from the ship proves to be their undoing, swamping their small lifeboat and sealing their fate. This theory explains the waterlogged condition of the ship when it was found and the crew's panicked departure. The missing navigational instruments also fit. They would have been essential for trying to reach land in the lifeboat. But again, it's speculation. The Dei Gratia's crew reported the ship was wet, but not severely damaged, and its pumps were in working order. Would an experienced captain like Briggs really abandon his sturdy ship so quickly without more definitive proof that it was sinking? This brings us to a third, more complex theory, one that combines natural events with human error. This theory points to something called a seismic seaquake. A seaquake is an earthquake that occurs on the ocean floor. While it might not create a massive tsunami, it can produce a strange and terrifying effect. The seabed can vibrate violently, shaking the ship and creating a bizarre, unsettling sound, as if the ship is grinding over rocks, even in deep water. This could have been compounded by the ship's cargo. The shaking from a seaquake might have caused the alcohol barrels to shift and rumble, leading Captain Briggs to mistakenly believe his cargo was about to explode, or that his ship had run aground on an uncharted reef. Fearing the ship was breaking apart beneath them, he orders the evacuation. They hastily gather the navigational tools and pile into the lifeboat, intending to wait out the danger. The single missing tow line, a 300-foot rope, could be the key. Perhaps they attached it to the Mary Celeste, planning to stay connected. But a sudden squall or a large wave could have snapped the line, casting them adrift. In the vastness of the Atlantic, their chances of survival in a small open boat would have been virtually zero. This theory accounts for the lack of damage, the hurried but orderly evacuation, and the strange circumstances. It combines a rare natural event with a very human and very fatal miscalculation. So, we have three strong contenders: a vapor explosion, a waterspout, or a seaquake. Each one paints a plausible picture of confusion and panic, leading to a fateful decision. They all point to the crew abandoning the ship willingly, believing it was in imminent danger, only to perish later in the lifeboat. The ship, being perfectly seaworthy, simply sailed on without them, a silent witness to their tragic end. In the end, the fate of the 10 souls aboard the Mary Celeste remains written in water. No wreckage of the lifeboat, no bodies, and no definitive proof has ever been found. The ship itself was sailed to Gibraltar, where a salvage inquiry was held. The court was deeply suspicious, even accusing the crew of the Dei Gratia of foul play at one point, though they were later cleared. The Mary Celeste was eventually repaired and returned to service under new owners, but she was considered a cursed ship. She passed through 17 more owners before her final captain deliberately wrecked her off the coast of Haiti in 1885 in an attempt to commit insurance fraud. But the legend of the Mary Celeste had already taken hold. It became the archetype of the ghost ship, a story told and retold, each time with new, often fictional embellishments. Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, even wrote a popular short story based on the incident, which added many fictional details that people now mistake for fact. What makes the mystery so enduring is its purity. There are no easy answers. It's a perfect historical puzzle. We have a ship, a crew, a destination, and then nothing. Just an empty vessel, a silent ocean, and a question that has echoed through time for 150 years. What happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste? It's a chilling reminder that even with all our modern technology and knowledge, the sea still keeps its secrets. The Mary Celeste isn't just a ghost ship, it's a monument to the unknown, history's perfect cold case. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. If you have your own theory about what happened, share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the strange and unexplained. We'll see you next time.